Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode number 62. Gumbo Live, the number one Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. Our special guest tonight, how about Rob and Christina from the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast? Gumbo Live is a proud member of Punchboard Media. Check out some of the other fine members like Open Seat Gaming, Marty and Scott and Sarah. They've got an awesome blog that focuses on ensuring that everyone, no matter their background, has a seat at the gaming table. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hit us up on social media tonight at Twitter, at Board Game Gumbo, Facebook.com, Facebook/Board Game Gumbo. In fact, if you check Twitter, you're going to see some behind-the-scenes pictures of both studios, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat. But enough blather. Let's get right to our guests, Rob and Christina from the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, you guys know the elevator pitch. You've been around designers all this time. Give us the elevator pitch. What is the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast?
Blue Peg, Pink Peg is a podcast about board games, relationships, and the interactions between the two. I was setting you up to do that part.
I did it.
The interactions between the two. So we are a podcast that likes to, we talk about board games, but we also talk about relationships, friendships, playing games with our mother-in-laws, playing games with our kids or friends, just the fun things that happen or the funny things that happen when we do those things.
Yeah, I think what kind of set the premise of it going is that, you know, everybody grew up in a house that had that one thing that brought everybody to the table. And a lot of the commonality for all of us was board games. And so we wanted to talk about what that was like, playing games with relationships, whatever that definition of relationship is for you, and what that brought into your world and how that enriched your life. And we also like games too, a little bit, I think.
You guys definitely talk about games too, right? Oh, yeah. Each and every week.
Yes.
Or each and every episode, I said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a live show, and we got a couple of people that are already checking in. My buddy Steve O'Rourke is the name father.
The name father. This guy and him picking names.
He's
too good, Rob. He's got both of us just way in the dirt, man. And we're talking about the Dukes of Dice podcast.
The Dukes of Dice thing. So every episode, for those who don't know, I'm assuming everybody does, but
they
for
don't.
Me, so the Dukes of Dice, they do this cool thing every episode where they get their listeners, I don't know what they're called. They get their listeners to pick the duchy to pick the name of their episode. And I like to compete there because I'm competitive. So they put out the names of like, well, this is what we're going to be talking about in this episode. And so they pick the best ones. I'm not doing too well. I think maybe I've gotten 1 point. I've named one episode, maybe. I don't remember.
Got a couple, Rob. I think you've got
I've been mentioned, but I think I only have 1 point. But the name father, Stephen O'Rourke, man, he's Johnny on the spot with those names. Like I always go in and I'll read his and I'm like, oh no, that's much better. I'm going to thumb his.
You know, you just said that. Christina, would you believe that, like Rob, I won't a lot of times even post a name if I see Steve's. So now what I do is I don't look at him at all. And I just start posting them because if not, I'm going to go, well, O'Rourke's going to win again.
Yeah. Rob's pretty competitive like that, but he does know when he's been outbeat, which is
I don't think I've seen a Christina name, though. Have you ever entered one?
I have not. No, I have not entered one.
Hey, Joe Pilkus is checking in. He says, definitely listening in while I'm playing D&D tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't know Joe Pilkus plays D&D. Joe Pilkus, he's one of those guys that whenever you see him, he's got this smile on his face. He'll shake your hand. He is a great guy.
He's so nice.
D&D tonight. Maybe that'll maybe a discussion topic for the next show. Hearing about some D&D, maybe, right?
I don't know. That's outside my wheelhouse. I have never played a role-playing game.
Got a bunch of people checking in. Your buddy Tim Vernig, who posts all the time on social media. Tim is a game teacher extraordinaire, and he says, "Hello, Pegs. What's up, guys?"
Hey, Tim.
Sweet man. I met him. He gave me a bottle of bourbon the last time I met him. Tim, he's great.
So Verla LeBaron's checking in. Here's why I want to mention to her. She made this awesome calendar up there. I don't know if you guys can see it with the beautiful Azul, but she is one of the really prolific posters on an awesome Facebook webpage. Now, I stay off of a lot of the groups because some They get a little toxic, right?
Get a little racy, yeah.
Not this one. It's called the Gateway and Filler Games group. It's about 1,000 people strong. Chuck Yeager, not that Chuck Yeager, but Chuck Yeager runs the group. He keeps everybody civil. All we do is talk about the fun Gateway and Filler Games, which is one near and dear to my heart. So Verla is awesome, and I'm glad she's checking in tonight. So
awesome.
All right, so let's get to some of the topics of the day. Team Droop is back together. Is that right?
Team Droop. Yeah. Well, last year it was more than a year ago. Jeremy, our green peg, he left this show because he wanted to focus more on his relationship,
on family. And he actually, his resolution for the year prior to him leaving the show was that he wanted to spend more time playing games with his family. So
we didn't know that was going to mean that he was leaving the show.
So he left the show. He was actually combining households, and so he needed to focus a lot of his time and effort doing that, which he has done. And we had Josh, our metal peg is what he was deemed.
Josh,
come and join us for a season, and it was great having him on the show because he really brought a different eclectic type of gamer to us as listeners, because he plays different kinds of games than we do. So it was nice having him.
Can we call him Entrepreneur Peg now?
Yeah. So he ended up leaving us because he wanted to open
his game store.
Yeah, and he launched it. Grand opening was the beginning of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to Blade Gaming.
Super cool space. Pretty inclusive as far as having all different kinds of games and gamers and events. Lots of events he's running with Magic and Pokemon and D&D stuff. And so he left us, and that opened up a seat for Jeremy to come back.
Yeah, and Jeremy was like, well, you know what? I've got some free time now. The houses are combined, and so now it's podcast magic.
Yeah.
Well, now you could tell both Patrick and Jeremy that they were actually on the show. Here it is. I've got a picture of them right here on the show.
Yeah.
So Steve's got a good point. D&D with wizards for Christina. That'd be a tough sell on Christina. Or would you be a spellcaster if you played D&D? I rather doubt it.
I don't think so. Although someone did tell me that they would design a game where all you do is kill wizards. And I was like, I could probably play that game. If that's all you're doing is killing the wizards, I'd play that.
Whenever we play anything that is fantasy-like, she's always a barbarian. Everything. She's like, I guess I'll be the barbarian. I'm the barbarian. Like if there's a barbarian, that's who she plays.
I love barbarians and I love bards. That's the two that I like to play. And I have no idea. I'm like 5'8". I don't know why I'm attracted to barbarians at all, but maybe that's why. There
should be some sort of website out there that tells you what you prefer to play. What does it say about you? Like I like to play clerics. Mostly because I like to feel needed. I don't know, you need the healer, right? So and you're crucial. You have to protect the healer. It keeps you going. I think that's why.
I'm pretty sure there's probably a character personality quiz out there about what characters you choose to play in board games and what that means about you.
There should be.
There should be one of those. Yeah. Hey, Kevin's got a suggestion. Kevin says Wiz War maybe. 3 out of the 4 wizards are going to die. So
that's true.
Even though you're playing a wizard, you're getting rid of 75% of the wizards on the board.
Yeah, I don't think I've played Wiz War. I know a lot of people mentioned it when I brought up my wizard hate. They always mentioned Wiz War. But
this wizard hate is just so random too. I thought it was shtick, but we recently our daughter Harper, which we'll probably talk about multiple times as episode is 8, sure. and we introduced her to Lord of the Rings, and Gandalf comes out, thou shalt not pass, and Christina's like, what does he even do? What do wizards do? He's not that powerful. For all 3 movies, wizards.
He has a lot of time in the movies to do something epic, and he just doesn't do anything until he needs to. It's like, why didn't you do that 10 minutes ago, wizard?
I don't know.
I think Kevin's on your side. Not all wizards, though. Not all wizards.
Yeah.
He disappears for a big chunk of the movies and the books, right? I mean, is he that important?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, he is crucial in Lord of the Rings. He's a crucial player.
I'm just poking the bear. I'm just poking the bear.
Whenever a wizard pops up in any, we still haven't seen Harry Potter with our child because that whole thing's about wizards.
Yeah, that's true. That's gonna be tough. Hey, speaking of poking the bear,
oh geez,
I got a bone to pick with Rob, Christina. I got a bone to pick with him.
Do it.
I'm listening to the episode and I hear Rob go, Terraforming Mars, guys.
Yes.
It's a legacy game. Stephen Bonacore dropped this big hint. I'm going, oh my God, the pegs are going to mention Board Game Gumbo and Steve, the name father, dragging it out of him, and Dan from the Gateway Group. Chirp.
Yeah, I was so excited about Terraforming Mars Legacy that I forgot. I apologize. Yes, I heard it there. I went back and I watched the whole episode, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And even though it is going to be 2020 or 2021, like it's far out, I'm excited about it. Sorry to drop the ball on the promotion, but I did mention you a couple times in that episode. I felt like
you did mention it. I really don't have a bone. In fact, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What is there a game out there that can't be done in legacy format?
Uno.
Ooh. You know what? Like sometimes I want to re-envision solitaire. So like when you play it and something happens, it then unlocks other things and like it keeps. But that's not the question.
Game of solitaire.
Is there a game out there that can't be legacy?
I don't know. I can't think of it.
What about like Gonshan Cleaver? Like, could you do that? You couldn't do that legacy. Or, I mean, that's basically legacy right now because when you play that game, you play it for 8 hours straight anyway.
Yep. And you're tearing up the paper.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's going to happen is like 15 minutes from now, I'm just going to like scream some name and I'll be like, that's the legacy game. It's like, you haven't really been paying attention the entire time. Like I've been thinking about a legacy game.
Got you drifting off. Speaking of drifting off, heading to Europe. Let's go that way. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guests here, Rob and Christina from the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast. And you guys made a trip I have not made. I've been in Germany, but I've never been to the Essen Game Spiel, the Spiel Fair. You guys have any tips? I've been asking some of my guests that have been there, people like Chris Ray, hey, what's the best tips you have for those listeners out there, the people watching the show that have never been to Essen? How could they make as spectacular a trip as you guys have described?
Well, I mean, I think what's really important is the planning of the trip. It's not just a trip where you're like the week before you're like, I think I'll go to Eschenspiel, and then you just show up. Like you definitely have to.
That would be funny though.
Yeah, like you just show up at the airport and then just go straight to the convention hall. Lots of planning goes into place, and understanding that you won't see it all. I think that's the biggest thing. People go and they think that they're going to see every hall and see all the games, and like you just can't do it. It's impossible. The first year we went, we worked the convention and we saw maybe 50% of everything. I wouldn't even say that. And then this past year when we went, we didn't work as much and saw maybe 75%. And so it's just so much stuff that you really can't see everything. So you plan, and then you take that plan and you throw it out the window because nothing seems to go the way you want it to.
So part of planning, now this should go without saying, but some of us are not as smart as the average bear. Shoes. You need comfortable shoes at any con, right? But if you go to a different location, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy some comfortable shoes to walk around in. That is not smart. We did that the very first one we went to. So I was like, I'm going to buy some shoes. Like, I'm not happy with my shoes. I'm going to buy some sneakers there. They had a really nice pair. It was like, 45 euros, which of course is 75,000 US dollars. But I bought them, and we were walking around, having fun. Maybe like 3 hours into it, I was like, my toe hurts. That's fine. So we kept walking, a couple more hours. I'm like, oh, my toe's not doing well at all. So we stopped. So
he sits down on a bench that have other people sitting on it, and he just takes his shoe off.
It's Europe, right? We're free. You can just take your shoe off.
Yeah, and his sock is bloody.
My toe came off.
No.
It didn't come off. I'm exaggerating. But I looked down when I took my shoe off, and my sock was it was saturated. I was like, we've got a problem.
So then we spent the next 30 minutes trying to find like a CVS store, like a pharmaceutical store to buy Band-Aids. And so shoes are important.
At any con, but when you go to a foreign country.
Do you guys hear that? Is there some knocking on the door? Do you guys have somebody coming in your room over there?
There better not be.
I hear something. Check. Oh my God! Hey! What is Stephen Bannister doing?
Hey guys, good to see you. This is a little surprise for Christina.
Rob, I guess you and I can leave now.
I guess.
So I was just picking on them, Stephen, about how all the publicity that has happened. Apparently, I got you in trouble with a bunch of guys from Europe.
Oh my God. I cannot tell you how much trouble I got in for that show.
Were you drinking? Was that what was happening? Were you having a couple beverages?
There might have been some adult beverages involved with me getting in trouble there, but no, it's funny. I just wanted to do something nice for BJ and give him a little bit of behind the scenes knowledge of what's happening with terraforming of Stronghold and things. And yeah, that kind of backfired on me a little bit. Frick's game's not so happy. No, we're not sad. But now everything's okay now. So they ended up announcing it later on. So everything's okay.
Oh God, what else is going to be a legacy? The Gumbo Live show is now almost like a legacy show with Stephen Bonacore coming in here.
A legendary show, I think, at this point. That was very funny.
And your buddy Tim says the night just got better.
Yes.
Bonacore joined all the
Whenever he shows up, it's a party.
You're too kind. You're all too kind.
So, Stephen, you just missed it. Rob and Christina gave some excellent advice. What do you think their number one tip for going to Essen would be?
Wear good shoes. I heard it. I heard him say it.
Okay. What I'm curious about is what's the temperature like in Florida right now?
Yeah. I know you know that. I know you know the answer to that question. It was a frigid 70 degrees.
Oh my
today.
God.
No, I'm serious.
This guy on Facebook is posting pictures of him in a pool. I'm up here. I'm wearing like 3 jackets. Like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Here's my Bonacore impression. To all my New Jersey friends out there enjoying the cold weather, Paul and I are down here by the pool drinking wine every day.
Well, that's not a good impersonation, but the sentiment is correct.
Terrible.
The sentiment was correct. I do torture the people back in the Northeast, New Jersey in particular, but everybody out there do stay safe in this crazy cold weather that you've been having. I've been seeing people post ridiculous temperatures in the middle of the country. And I just saw Mandy up in Canada post -40 Celsius, which happens to be -40 Fahrenheit too. That's where the two scales meet each other. So that was pretty amazing. That's insane.
That's an impossible degree.
No, that's crazy.
I had crazy layers on today. It was like 62 degrees and I was dying. I don't know how people up north can get below 60. I don't know how that works. That's Gumbo. When it gets to 68 degrees, which is usually the air conditioner, that's Gumbo weather, man.
I got in my car this morning. It was 15 degrees.
Wow.
I've got 2 layers on, and it's probably 70 degrees in my room.
Wearing t-shirts here, just hanging out.
Wait.
Hey, this is a rare
Stronghold game active wear.
No, this is no logo. No red, nothing like that. This is a rare appearance of Bonacore without any Stronghold on. Though,
well, I mean, he's got the Stronghold Speedos on.
You can see Stronghold stuff behind me. That's about it.
Right,
I'm in my living room. No, I don't have Stronghold Speedos on. But if Christina wants to imagine me like that, we'll go with that.
Nope, no, I'm out. Nope.
All right. I'm gonna let you.
Here.
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're here, are you going to give us one more scoop about Terraform?
No, there'll be no more scoops. There'll be no more scoops.
What is it?
It's going to be a blue pig, pink pig card.
No.
You put it here first.
Well, thank you, Stephen. I want to say thank you for Stephen for popping on, man. I appreciate you coming by.
This is just a quick little hello and to say hello to all you guys and just Christina, love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm getting him out of here, Rob. I'm getting him out of here.
That guy's ridiculous.
That was such a fun surprise.
And oh my God, he's lost a ton of weight.
I know he looks.
Oh
really
my
good.
gosh, you look good, Stephen. If he's still listening,
Yeah,
he is still listening to you right now, and he's enjoying these comments. So yes, Stephen, doesn't it look like the Florida move has been very good for him? It's been very good for him. Yeah.
That's what
Bradley is backing me up. He puts on warm socks when it drops below 60 in Louisiana. So what is it where you guys are right now?
Today, I think the high got to be about 33. So it was a little cold today.
No, that is too cold. Hey, you know what? This is a board game show. Let's talk about some board games.
Oh my gosh, we should talk about a board game. This is like our podcast.
I am curious. So last year, the Gumbo crew, we did something a little weird. We did an 8x8, but not like you're thinking. We each threw up 8 games. We all nominated 8 games. We bought them. And then we each pledged to play those games at least one time, preferably more times. And then at the end of the year, we voted on which ones we kind of ranked them. We gave them ratings according to the VGG scale. And whoever had nominated the top rated game, the rest of us had to chip in $10 and buy that guy a game.
Oh,
That sounds fun.
that's
So
fun
twist
way
on
to do
8x8. Bradley ended up winning with his nomination. So I nominated Lisboa, which should have been the number 1.
it.
Sorry,
That was a good one.
should have been number 1. Came out third, but should have been number 1.
What
So
won?
you guys
Yeah,
are not
what
doing. You guys are not. Shoot, what was it that one? Bradley will have to help me because I don't remember now off the top of my head which one it was that won. I'll have to think about it. But you guys were thinking about doing something, not that, more of a traditional 10x10.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you guys were going to do.
So
Well, this is Christina's thing.
Yeah, I was okay. So new year resolution. A lot of people on Twitter posted like, oh, we're gonna do a 10x10. So I saw a lot of people posting their 10x10 challenges or things they wanted to do. So we're in the car. I say to Rob, let's do a 10x10. And he goes, I don't know. That's a lot of work. That might be a lot of gaming. It's hard enough, for us to get the games in that we have to do for the show and then a 10x10. And I was like, it's just 10. You just play a game 10 times.
And then I asked her, did you play a game 10 times last year?
Yeah. Thanos Rising. We played 10 times. with
Thanos
Harper.
Rising. oh, that's a game.
But where sometimes when Rob and I communicate with each other,
What are we doing? Is that communicating?
Well, we communicate like this.
Yeah.
Like we go like this. And so he is going to 10x10, 10 games 10 times. And I was saying a game 10 times.
That's not a 10x10. That's a 1x10.
10x1, right?
I got it now. I don't do numbers or math. So I was like,
Well, that's a significant difference. 1 times 10 and 10 times 10.
I know.
So wait, this is new to me. You thought we were talking about a 1x10?
No, when you clarified it, I
Oh.
got it. So we're not doing a traditional 10x10. I think what
We're
going
not?
to do is we're going to do an organic one.
Oh, so like if we
Just if
Only
we have-
about gardening or vegetables?
yeah. Soybeans and
Mhm.
tofu.
By the way, Rob, our number 1 game was Crusaders,
Yeah.
the TMG game. So
Yeah, I have not played that one yet. It looks amazing.
Yeah. So no, I think
Strategy.
I think it's harder to do a 10x10 if you don't identify the games at the start of the year and you just try to play 10 games 10 times without knowing what those 10 games are.
Well, when you get half year, I mean, if you're recording them,
Right.
like
can
I do
kinda
BG
see.
stats, you can see, oh, okay, we're close on this. We got to play Dominion another 4 times or
Right.
something like that, right? But whenever I hear a 10x10, and this is how I assume a 10x10 ran, you pick the games at the start of the year, right? You're like, all right, you know what? I want to play Terra Mystica 10 times for sure this year, and I'm going to dedicate it to it. And I'm not going to be all willy-nilly, like, I'm just going to play whatever, and then it's a 10. That's,
Yeah.
I don't know. We have different views of the 10x10.
We haven't decided.
Well, I feel like we have, and it's whatever you say.
That's accurate.
I think I like the idea of kind of going through the year and seeing what it is, but I also like the idea because I don't want to tick anybody off. So I also like the idea of setting 10 up at the front.
Mm-mm. You don't need to butter her up. I'm right here. It's fine. If you can tell her that's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. The problem is, I mean, this is, again, first world problems, but it's just like with the podcast, it's like we always have to play new stuff. And then like whatever game we're reviewing, we have to play that at least X amount of times, make sure we played it enough, and so it's hard to get the 10x10. Like, I love Terra Mystica. I can play Terra Mystica every day. I just don't have time because I also have a full-time job and a daughter I'm trying to raise. So it's like, I don't have time to do it, but I want to.
Yeah, I feel like if you pick the 10 on the onset, you're setting yourself up to fail.
Well,
I
think
did a 10x10 and I actually didn't make it. I got very close. 8 of them were done 10 times. One of them was done like 9 times or 8 times. One of them was Lisboa, and I only played it 6 times. So
Lisboa is, you mentioned it twice now. That game is meaty, man. Like you really, if you're doing a 10x10 and you put Lisboa in there, you're
I did.
serious.
Well, I thought with the 8x1, I'm going to be playing with all these different guys anyway, so that's going to be a bunch. Then I was going to teach it to my wife, and she got through 2 rounds and absolutely hated it.
Oh, no.
It's a little bit too long for her. She's a teacher. She has about an hour to game, and that's her sweet spot is the 1 hour wonder. So it's no offense. I mean, it wasn't about grokking it. She understood the game. It's just you get past that hour stage, and she starts doing this. You know the eyes I'm talking about, Rob?
Yeah. No, I get that a lot.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah,
so we got to that part. Yep.
So wait, what games does she like? If she's like an hour and done, like what is her go-to? Like she's like, BJ, I really want to play this tonight. What is she?
So she's been playing a lot of City of Gears lately. She really enjoys.
That game's great.
Yeah. 4 players is a little rough, but 2 players, it's surprisingly fun, and you can knock it out in 40 minutes.
We'll have to
2
try
players.
it. 2 players. Yeah.
2 players.
So 4 players is rough. How? Like, because we played it 3 players and we liked it, but we're wondering. I thought 4 players might be the sweet spot. Why is it rough? Just long? Yeah.
Okay.
So when we're taking our turns, that last set of rounds, because you're really trying to maximize them. Because hey, when is that third? When is the third gear going to come out? Right? When is the third celebration tile? Whatever it's called. You're maximizing those rounds, and we were timing it. It was taking us between 4 to 6 to 7 minutes per turn. So you take your turn and then
you have to wait
all the way around till it's your turn again.
Minutes until you're turning it. That's one of my
timer.
biggest...
You put a timer on the board.
I like it. But 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, 2 or 3 players. The game rocks. It plays. We also did it with this with the soft variant where you have a tile before you get into the big tile. So that made the game even a little bit longer, and it made our development bonuses even more lengthy. So that could have affected a little bit too. But I like it 3 players the best, but I do like playing 2 players. And Ganshan Clever is also one that's just she loves playing it all the time. So
see, and that's like that would be in my 10 by 10 by tomorrow. So I could count that.
I mean, if you're gonna be willy-nilly about it, like it's whatever. Like what? Uno. I like the dedication. Like you're like, you know what? I love this game, and I want to play it more, and I don't have time, so it's like a dedication. 10 by 10. This is the thing I'm going to accomplish.
And that's what I was doing at the start of the year. The 10 games I really want to dive into. I've got a buddy, Jason Dinger, who designed Captains of the Golf, and he does that. I'm
familiar with it. That game's fun.
Yeah. So what he does is he usually picks a designer, and he's like, Donna and I, that's his wife Donna, we're gonna dive into the Kramer. We're gonna dive into Kramer games this month, and that's all we're gonna play. And I love that idea of getting deep into designer, because let's face it, when you're doing a lot of reviews or you're trying to prep for shows or you're in a game group with 25 people and everybody's buying games all the time, it's a lot of one-offs. I mean, that was a fun game. That was a fun game. That was a fun game. As they whirl past you at a whirlwind, you know.
The name father just said rock, paper, scissors, legacy.
Okay.
I know he's joking, but I like it. Like I like it. Like
rock, paper, scissors, it could work. I am secretly working on a card game called Legacy, the Legacy game.
Okay. Go on.
So, you're an administrator,
but I'm interested.
You're an administrator of a college, right?
You're losing me.
And you're way down here. No one wants to come into this college.
Nope.
You got to get them up there. You're struggling though, because each year you have these idiot alums, legacies that they keep sending you, and driving your stats down because you got to bring them in. So it's Legacy, the Legacy game.
Drink to that.
I'll be here all week, so just tip your servers. So, hey, I got a couple of questions for you guys. So these are honest questions that the people really want to know.
We'll answer them honestly.
A little trivia for the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast.
Okay.
For dedicated listeners. So, what is more? Now, I want search inside. I want you to. Can we mind meld for a second? Search inside. Which is more? The number of types of occupations. The number of types of occupations that Patrick has worked, officially recognized by the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, or the number of users who have rated Voluspa overall. Voluspa.
Which
one's greater?
God, Patrick.
I'm putting you on the spot, though, Christina. I want to know which one is greater.
I want to say Voluspa, but in all Patrick's ilk, that resume grows every time he opens his mouth. So I don't know. It's like
the guy. Okay, first of all,
infinite.
Jokes aside, the guy has done a lot of things. Like legitimately done a lot of things. Like podcast aside, like we'll be talking. He's like, one time I flipped boogers for 15 minutes. You're like, no, shut up. Like just shut up with all your jobs. But he's done a lot of things.
He's a man of many trades.
This is the part where we go really inside baseball. I will tell you that I honestly don't know the number of jobs that Patrick has worked, but there are 13,000 jobs officially recognized by the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, and 1,300 users have rated Voluspa. So you know what? I'm going to go with Patrick on this one. I think Patrick has more.
Wow, Patrick's jobs.
Yeah. I love Voluspa so much.
Okay, I got a game. I got one for you, Christina, because that one was kind of geared toward Rob. How about this one? Which one has more?
These sound like math problems.
The total number of pips in a game of Strike. Strike. Oh, yeah.
This is a math
or the total number of roller derby leagues worldwide.
Worldwide? That are sanctioned by WIFTA?
Yes. BJ, are they sanctioned by WIFTA?
I'll say yes.
Because that's an important. I know
it's
that
bit,
number.
Christina, it's a bit. Go ahead.
I'm just going with it. What's 32?
What are you doing right now?
Trying to do the math for the pips. I'm gonna go with Derby Leagues Worldwide.
Bingo! Over 2,000 recognized roller derby leagues worldwide, and a total number of pips, by my calculations, which Bradley will tell you should not trust, 651 pips.
Yeah.
Which, if added together, are not the amount of jobs that Patrick has said he's had.
That is true. That is true. All right, I did have one more for you. Just one more for you. Okay,
just one. Just one.
One more. Just give me your best estimate. Mm-hmm. Number of failed games rated higher than Trajan, or the number of times Rob has beaten Isaac Childress in a game.
Jerk. You are a jerk.
I actually texted Jeremy to find out the answer on that one.
You're a jerk. I don't want to talk about this anymore. What was the question?
We can move on. You know what? I'll bet Rob that your record is very similar to what mine would be if I ever played a game from that guy, Isaac Childress, right there. By the way, hand signed by Isaac Childress. Thank you.
Nice. What? You don't even have one of those.
I mean, no, I do, because he signed my box top every time he beats me at Terra Mystica. I have that memory. No, that guy is so smart. And one day, and I've said this before, but if I ever beat him at Terra Mystica, I'm out. Like, I'm out of board games, I'm done. Podcast, I'm just out.
So we'll have a seat open soon.
Oh, yes. You know, I won't play Inish anymore because I played it one time. I won. I never, ever win area control games. I'm like, I'm done.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm tapped out. Too. Hey, you guys have played a game that I haven't played. I like Warsha a lot. I like his games. You know, the ones that I played. I want to play the Quacks of Quedlinburg, but the game that I'm really interested in that you guys, I don't think have talked about on the podcast, or if you did, I apologize. You may have. Tell me about Illusion. You guys have played it, right?
Yeah, so we played this at PAX Unplugged. We were up there in November, and they had part of their gaming library. They had Illusion was sitting there, and it's a super fun abstract game where essentially you are laying cards out in a row. Think a la Timeline, right? Is that the name?
Yeah, it's Timeline.
Timeline.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
With colors and shapes, and so the first person would put that first card down, and then the next person would flip a card over and try to figure out, because it's red, does this card have more red on the card previously on the table or less red? And they would place it in where they think the percentage of red is on the card.
Okay.
And you flip the cards and you do that until someone thinks that the row is incorrect, meaning one card was placed out of turn as far as percentage of a color. And the first person who gets 4 correct cards wins the game. So it's a filler game. It's super fast and fun, and I think it plays up to maybe like 8 people. You could really play with any number of people, but we liked it a lot. This has gone into our quiver, and it's an easy game you can take to travel with. And I think we haven't played it with Harper yet, but I think she could probably get
Yeah,
it.
she could get it. I mean,
the
it's
concept
easy.
is this have more or less? And then you put it in the row.
I'm always looking for these quick type games. We've been playing with the kids. Drop it a lot. I'm sure you guys have at least. Yeah, drop it. Okay.
Yeah.
How thinky is Illusion? Is it something that 8, 10, 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Because really, you just have to think like, if the color is red, does the card I have that I need to play in the row have more red on it than the card on the table, or less red on it?
Now, that becomes a little more difficult when you have 5 or 6 cards on the table. And so now you have to like, is it in between here or is it in between here? And then I don't know. I started looking at it, and remember those games? Remember those posters from like the 90s, the Illusion?
3D.
Like you stare at it long enough, and then like a something comes out at you.
3D image.
Yeah, 3D image. So that starts happening to me. Like I'll play this game, and I'm looking at it, and this is like, oh, everything I can't tell. Like I don't know.
Sometimes you have to like squint your eyes and kind of look to the left to decide.
And what's fun is the reveal of it, right? So like when someone's like, you know what, I think it's messed up, and then you flip it one at a time. You're like, oh, that 4%, 6%, all 7%. You know, that part's fun. That part's a blast.
So on the back,
How does that
has the percentage of the colors.
So in the example, red, so you flip it over and says, okay, of this card face, 15% of it is covered by red. And then you flip the next one, it's like 17% is covered by red. The next one, 13%. And then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about colorblind. Like, I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, Kevin threw that up. He says, I'm colorblind, but appears to still be playable with the shades they chose. It's a pretty primary colors there.
Yeah. I didn't think about, I think someone brought that up when we played it, kind of like, oh man. So it is good to know that if someone is colorblind, they can still make out those colors. That's important. But yeah, Warsh is just super hot right now with and Illusion is actually an older game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not like old, but it's not like hotness new either.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. It hasn't like just come out. But what an amazing run this guy is on, though. I didn't even know his name 18 months ago at all, and now there's like 6 games in the top couple of hundred. I've never seen anything like it.
He's probably like hiding somewhere and just designing games, and then just like put them all out.
I even think 10 or 20 years ago, the number of designers we had on BGG compared to today.
Oh, wow.
Everybody designs games, right? And yet this guy,
poor Pat.
No, you're right. We were asking questions of somebody, I forgot, similar to the questions we were asking you guys about the number of designers. And there was like, I think Steven can correct me if I'm wrong. I think there were over 20,000 designers listed on BGG. Over 20,000.
That's super cool though. Like,
it's great. But how does one?
Yeah. What he's getting ready to say.
How does one guy just rise to the top that quickly? I mean, lots of people. Catherine Stipple came from nowhere with this Nyctophobia game, and more power to her. It's just so out of the box thinking that it deserves all the talk that it's gotten. Not one of my favorite games from last year, but I really enjoyed the experience. Right. How does this one guy, though, out of the blue, do this 5 or 6 times? And like the brands do, all the games are different.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really different. I don't know. Some kind of mojo this guy has.
Yeah.
Marshall Wells says it's a bit like Timeline once you have a bunch of cards out in the line. So it's a little bit more thinky the more that they come out. How many people does it play?
I think I want to say like 4 to 6, but I don't think player count matters because you could play.
We played it at 4 and 5, and it plays fine.
And I think we even one time maybe played it with 7. It's you just whoever's at the table.
Yep.
How about the name Father coming up with the Unigamer? Warsh is off in some cabin somewhere cranking out games like the
Unigamer.
Oh, he's so good at naming things.
That's about right.
He's just so good at it. So you guys have played another game that I have not played. Speaking of legacy games, you guys have played, I don't have any pictures of it, but you guys have played Rise of Queendale, and I have had some very divisive opinions on this show. People either really love it or they're really ambivalent toward it.
And I can completely understand why. I first of all, my mindset, I am all things legacy right now. So it automatically gets like a 20% thumbs up just because it's a legacy game. So this game, and I don't want to give anything away, but you are building a kingdom, right? Okay. And as the game progresses in legacy form, things unlock. The basic mechanic of the game is that you are rolling dice, and the dice that you roll gives you the resources that you need. These dice, though, you can upgrade. All right. So in the game, you can get things and you can peel off the stickers and then put stickers on these wooden dice, which is great. But at the same time, like those who are like gamery, you're like, well, now if I didn't get enough of that first sticker off there, is it now weighted to the sticker? Like, is it going to be on the bottom more? Like, I need to know these things, right? Yeah. So,
we need Jeff Ingelston to check that out.
Yeah.
And some of the, oh my God, you just yelled in my face.
I'm very excited about Legacy.
The other thing too is like what I find interesting about the game and what I like about it is that there are things that happen that you don't understand what the consequence of it is yet. Right?
Right.
You can do things early in the game that you have no idea what they mean and maybe won't ever uncover what they mean depending on how your game plays through. And I like that because it adds in, like, for me as a gamer, I like elements of luck thrown into games because I feel like it evens out the playing field for everybody. Right. And so when that comes into a game, I think like, okay, I might not have strategy down, but there's a little bit of luck going on here. So I'm still in the running to be competitive with everybody else. And so there were a couple of choices I've already made in the game where seem really silly and we have no idea what's going to happen with it.
We've actually waited to talk about this on the podcast because we haven't finished it yet. We're still playing it through. So, but I enjoy it. Now there is some frustrating things in the game. The rule book is a little rough.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's just rough. It's rough in parts. Things will happen, and we don't know what the rule is. So we're like, it's not as intuitive as I would like. Yeah. There's some straight out
common in legacy games, though. Haven't you noticed that that's the one drawback to legacy games, that the rule books always seem to have a problem on them?
Yes, but this one more so than other ones that I'm thinking about that I've also had problems with.
I think this was also an element of like translation issues.
Okay,
a little bit,
that makes sense.
That seemed to be problematic, but it almost acts as if you already have to have an understanding of how legacy style games work in order for the rule book to be as intuitive as I think they wanted it to be.
One other downside, and this is the last downside for me, is that the catch-up mechanic, which is it's interesting, but it could make for very quick games. Mm-hmm. And so you basically will spend a game that might last all of 20 minutes just setting up for the next game. Yeah. I don't enjoy those plays of it. Yeah. Everything else I love. I love the reveal. Yeah. I love the things that are going on in the game. I love the like what Christina was talking about. Like, I don't know what this means, but there might be a big payoff.
I love that.
So far the payoffs have been really cool. So there's a lot of cool things that are going on in the game. I don't know. The jury is still out. I want to finish it before I actually say a yay or nay, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So at the end of the day, the journey is great.
Who's it for? Who is that? Who are you recommending this game for?
Lovers of legacy games.
Okay.
If you like legacy games, you want to play this one.
I would say it could even be a game that if you've never played a legacy style game and maybe you're not so into strategy and you're just more about like, how is this going to unfold? Maybe the story of it. It's a good game for those.
But like, is it for Euro gamers? Like, I don't think so because it's too random with the dice rolling. Is it for Amerithrash lovers? Maybe. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to recommend it. I applaud Ravensburger for coming out with this game because it was very ambitious.
Cool. A couple that likes short games, 40 minute games.
Sometimes the games are much longer.
No. And I would play with the full complement of players, four players
for sure.
So I wouldn't recommend it. We play a lot of 2-player games. Like when we try to do reviews, we will play 2-player games. I won't recommend this one for 2-player.
We played Charterstone 2-player.
We did play Charterstone 2-player.
We're playing it at 3. We're about halfway through. And I'm liking it at 3. 2-player would seem like a lot of board space.
We knocked it out in a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't want to give anything away, but we unlocked a thing that
expedited the game. That
sped each individual game up. And we unlocked it early. And it was, I enjoyed the experience of Charterstone. It just wasn't everything I wanted it to be, but that might be a me thing and not a game thing. I like the game.
I think it's more...
So you guys completed it.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah.
And I think it's I wouldn't want to say better for a game to play like as the game, just as the game after you're done with it. I think I would rather than play it again as a legacy game.
I liked the game enough. I know what you're saying. Like you want to try it. I don't know about that, but I like the game enough to want to buy the recharge pack so we can play the 4.
Oh, yeah, I'd do that.
4 or 6. Like, didn't it play up to 6? Like, I would want to try it again. So I like the game enough to do that.
So, Chris, we're talking about Charterstone here with Chris Woodpan checking in there. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to steal a joke from him. He's going to know what I'm talking about. Where I am at Charterstone is I'm at the part. Do you remember where Bob Newhart kind of wakes up and he sees his wife on the side? And
do you remember that, honey?
It was all a dream.
When Bob Newhart? You even know who Bob Newhart is? I know what you're talking about.
He woke up and it was still a dream. And Suzanne Plachette was laying in bed. He's like, I had a dream that I owned this farmhouse.
Go back
That's
to
the part
sleep.
we're on in Charterstone. It's a great reveal.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I wasn't expecting that from. And so that is Rise of Queendale. I like what you guys have said, and I like who you've recommended it for. Not so much for 2 players. But speaking of 2-player games, one element of the Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast is what game can we convince Christina to play 2 players, right? I mean, Rob, you're always looking for that 2-player card game. I've got an idea for you.
Okay, hit us.
Bushido from Gray Fox Games.
Oh.
It's got dice and it's got cards. If you didn't like Baseball Highlights 2045, not enough randomness in it.
She hasn't tried it.
Okay. If you're not so much into Magic or anything with the fantasy and all that, how about a game that's got some great looking artwork? And instead of just being the card play, you still have that lucky roll of the dice that can overcome some of the, sometimes it's a drawback. You play a great card and you don't get the dice. The games play quickly, 20 minutes at tops, 15 to 20 minutes. Bushido, try that one out.
Okay. Is that out right now? Can we
out right now? It's
is it out right now?
Yeah, it's in retail right now.
Right. I'm writing it down.
Just a suggestion. And
it's funny that you mentioned that because I have been on a quest to find a 2-player game that works for both of us. And it's been tough. It has been tough. It's been a struggle. The struggle is real.
Yeah. Because the ones he loves, I'm like, well, and the ones I like, he doesn't like.
I am curious, which one is the closest one, Christina, to one that you say that's the closest game that Rob has found?
I have an answer.
I would say probably Crystal Clans.
Crystal Clans. That game is amazing. I love that game.
That's probably the closest.
That's Plaid Hat, right?
That is Plaid Hat. And I've bought all the factions for it. So, yes, that is the closest
That's
thing.
the one we will be playing.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot, PJ.
I have not played Crystal Clans. I kind of thought, it looked sort of like Ashes a little bit to me, but apparently not. It's not.
She did not like Ashes because when Ashes came out, I was like, oh, this is great.
The art was great.
Art was great, but she just didn't care for it. And if she didn't care for it, I was like, well, I'm not going to get this played. So sold it. Crystal Clans we got, and it's more along the lines of what was the first game that Plaid had came out with the
Summoner Wars.
Summoner Wars. It's a little bit like Summoner Wars. Like you can tell that it has some DNA of Summoner Wars in it, but it's just so much better in my view. Like I love the game.
I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but the chat crew is just having a blast with the Bob Newhart references. I am so old, Stephen O'Rourke says. Yep. Tim is shaking his head. Millennials, no Bob Hart. Yeah, Bob Newhart. He's gone now. Hey, you know what? This is a board game show, guys.
Yep.
And on a board game show, including Chris Whitpan's show, Game All Night, by the way, my beautiful glass. Thank you, Chris. I've got it up there. The beautiful Game All Night glass. On our show, we like to do a game called the Jambalaya Game. The Jambalaya Game is a thing that me and Steven work on. Steven does most of the clues because the chat crew hates whenever I get involved in the clues. I'm not sure why. But what we're going to do is we're going to mash up a board game, and we're going to mash up something interesting, usually maybe about the guest. And you guys have to compete with the chat crew to see who can figure out the mashup first. Let me give you an example. All right. A mass market kids game. It's a card guessing game incorporated into the podcast intro as only Rob can. So it's a mass market kids card guessing game incorporated into the podcast intro as only Rob can. If we were trying to figure out what that was, it would be, and I'm going to butcher this.
I want to hear it. Go on.
Peg headbands. That was terrible.
Peg headbands.
Oh,
Headband.
I know what game it is.
It's so we have.
Yeah, I know what
you have it. Okay.
I was thinking more of like, guess who's got their big boy pants on?
Okay.
Hey, I like that.
You're not very good at these games.
You saw us on Man vs. Meeple.
It
Right?
was not a good situation. Of course, Isaac.
I did. Isaac, yes, that's right. All right. So, Verlo remembers. Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother, Daryl. Very good. Very good, Verlo. That is exactly what we're doing. Oh, Steve wanted to make a suggestion. Thunder and Lightning. It's a 2-player card game that he really likes.
We reviewed it, actually. I love that game. I think it's a great game.
Did I like it?
You liked it. We played it when we went camping last.
All right.
You guys understand the rules of the Jambalaya game? Or are you ready to play?
Oh, no.
Perfect. All right. So, number one.
Perfect, he says.
Perfect. Number one. This dark co-op campaign game has you pushing minis, training, hunting Rob, and not hunting Rob, but I mean hunting, comma Rob, and ultimately facing the horror of having to search for your next job online. What game are we talking about there?
Read it. Say it again.
Yep, sure. This dark co-op campaign game has you pushing minis, training, hunting, and ultimately facing the horror of having to search.
You guys got it.
It's Kingdom Death Monster Jobs.com.
Monster.com. We'll go for it.
KingdomDeathMonsters.com? Is that Monster.com? Okay.
KingdomDeathMonster.com. That's good. Steve, mark that one down. The pegs have it. And
good game. That was a good game.
That was definitely Steve's a listener.
Kevin was right there. He said Kingdom Death Monster, but Kevin, you got to mash it up with the Monster.com. So close. All right. So we ready for number 2?
Yeah. I'm feeling better now.
I'm gonna need some water for this one, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh no.
For some reason, Steve likes me to do singing clues. I don't know why.
I love singing things.
What would you do if I passed this to you? Would you play your red and use armies on me? Sell me some more so my tableau is strong. Building Halicarnassus ain't free.
Little hair around me. Okay.
Who sings that?
It's from the show Wonder Years.
Steve, he's on it already, Steve. He's on it already.
But what's the game?
Steve's about to write your name down already.
Red Armies.
Wonder.
Would you play red and use armies on me? Sell me some
Wonder Years. 7 Wonder Years.
He's got it. 3-pointer. He's got it nicely.
Now that was in my head.
That was nicely done. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Steve is killing me with these singing clues, though. Oh my god, Joe Cocker is tough to do.
Yeah, no, you did it. You did a fine job.
Yeah.
I was trying. I knew Joe Cocker. I was like, what game has Joe or Cocker?
The thing is like the Wonder Years might have been out of. Did you watch the Wonder Years as a kid?
I don't know.
Oh my god, you're so young.
Was Bo Earnhardt in it?
With Bo Earnhardt? Who are you even talking about?
Who was that guy? Bob Earnhardt?
You mean
Bob Newhart?
Oh god, that was a different show.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And the chat crew was right there. Bradley had 7 Wonders years, and so did Chris Whitband. 7 Wonder years.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
This decadent Parisian cabaret is a bit out of place in 15th siècle Belgique. But it is an open secret that this is the new favorite jeu of the pigs?
So it's the new favorite, which would be Coimbra, right?
Right.
So it's
But Parisian 15th century.
wait, maybe not.
You have the right language, but the wrong country.
Spain.
Are you just saying?
Yes.
Okay.
They're still on a Bob Newhart kick.
Oh God. I'm gonna pass. Pass.
Wait,
Is there a pass
I
button?
want to hear it one more time.
Yeah, give it to
All
us
right.
again.
It's. I'll give you a different clue because that was a very bad French accent. A decadent Parisian cabaret that is magically transported to 15th century Belgium creates this new favorite game of the pegs. And remember, Steve wrote this one, not me, but I changed it up with the French.
Yeah. But the singing
Chris,
was
really,
great.
it's too soon. Too soon to talk about the Saints. It's way too soon.
Oh
Parisian
no.
cabaret.
I got nothing.
Hint. Focus on that Parisian cabaret.
Yeah,
Subject
Parisian
of
cabaret. I got nothing though. Like I'm
Parisian.
big movie. Was,
Moulin Rouge.
Also, they
Moulin
got the movie Moulin Rouge. What game would be from 15th century Belgium?
Moulin Rouge.
I feel like we just reviewed this game.
Moulin Rouge.
She's
Moulin
got it.
Coimbra.
She's got it. No, it's Moulin Rouge. You got it.
Moulin Bruges. That game's so good.
Moulin Rouge. So, by the way, Steve just got it in the mail today. He traded for it on BGG, and he's gonna let me know how it is. I wanted to play, but we were at Dice Tower Con, and Sean Ramirez went to play it, and 4 hours later he came back. I'm like, maybe this is a feld I don't want to play if it takes 3.5 hours to play.
Bruges is so good. Multi-use cards all day. Like that game is it's probably one of my top 2 Feld games.
3.5 hours though? That's a long time.
Someone's playing it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you tell Sean that.
I will.
All right, are we ready?
Yes.
And now it's time to welcome you to your next clue.
I love it.
Space dice, space dice, dice, space dice, space dice. That's it. That's all you get.
Star Wars. Space dice. Star Wars. Roll for the galaxy. Roll.
And now it's time to welcome you to your
Reroll.
next clue.
So it's a reroll. Re-roll through the galaxy.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it.
Star
That
Wars.
one is a pretty simple one from Insider Baseball. I was hoping you guys would get that, but I do have one that I would not have gotten. So let's see if you guys can get it.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
This is one that would have killed me. This game, inspired by the experience of playing a CCG, could benefit from a little Chaz Michaels and Jimmy McElroy. They could even include the Iron Black Lotus.
What?
No way I would have gotten this one.
McElroy is a tennis player, right?
Can I get the clue again, please, sir?
Sure. This game, inspired by the experience of playing a CCG, a collectible card game, could benefit from a little Chaz Michaels and Jimmy McElroy. And somebody's already gotten it. Kevin says level 99's Millennium Blades of Glory.
I had
Oh, that's
Millennium
great.
Blades. I had Millennium Blades. That was it.
That game is also so good. Stephen O'Rourke knows us so well.
These are really Insider Baseball. He really knows you. Okay, and I like this one. This is one I liked a lot. Bruna Cathala, plus a 1980s, 1990s alternative hip hop. Think MC Mancala and Q-Tip on the mic.
Shoot, why are you laughing?
MC Mancala and
Yeah,
Q-Tip on the mic.
Oh my God, I feel like we should know this right off. Okay, give me the clue one more time.
Sure. Bruna Cathala plus
Yep.
a 1980s, 1990s alternative hip hop. MC Mancala and Q-Tip on the mic. Chris Whitband says, nicely done, guys.
I don't know.
I don't know this one.
Q-tip on the mic. I don't know.
Wait,
MC Mancala.
and
Okay, focus on Bruno Cathala, right?
Yeah.
Think
Mancala.
MC Mancala. What are we talking about there?
Mancala.
I know what a Mancala is. I'm trying to think what
Whitpan's got you. Whitpan's got you.
Oh,
Five Tribes of Quest.
I love this one. This is a funny one.
That's a great one.
All right, here we go. This one's for Christina. Are we ready?
All right.
Jack Burton, Christina. He needs backup.
He was in
Jack
Bob
Burton.
Earnhardt.
He needs backup. David Lopan won't know what hit him when the Pegs mascot comes to town in the sequel to a 1980s cult favorite.
I want the clue again one more time. Sorry.
Jack Burton needs backup. David Lopan won't know what hit him when the Pegs mascot comes to town in the sequel to a 1980s cult favorite.
1980s cult favorite. Jack Burton is so it's Piranha Pig.
No, I got
right?
that.
So Piranha Pig. It's probably the piranha part of it, but it's Jack Burton.
Steve, he's going off on a tangent here. Uh-oh.
Who's Jack Burton?
80s 19 Jack Burton. Gosh.
Big Trouble in Little Chinatown. No.
Close. Jeff's on it, but he doesn't have the mascot.
Piranha Pig. Piranha.
Big Trouble. Big Pig. Piranha Pig Trouble in Chinatown. Oh, that was funny. That was a funny one.
He's got him.
Oh.
Hey, Pegs. If you guys were going to pick the soundtrack to the next something, Chris and all, everybody's got that one. Oh, I like this one. Wait.
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse 2, Piranha Pig Slaughter. I like that. Okay. So, hey, if the Pegs were going to pick a soundtrack for the next Matt Leacock co-op, it would be. That's it.
If the
What would it be?
Pegs could
If you were picking a soundtrack for the next Matt Leacock co-op. Oh, and by the way, the soundtrack for the Pegs would be like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, not now.
So it would be She Sure Can Cook, which was the name of our song, our theme song. That was the name of it.
Yeah, but I think it is more of maybe what was in one of our songs 2 or 3 months ago.
Nah, that would be too rando.
Okay.
It's got to be our theme song. So the name of the song was She Sure Can Cook. So Matt Leacock, Pandemic.
Come back over here, Rob. You're like going down the.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm back.
You're going down the wrong road there, Rob.
No. The theme song for the Pegs.
Think Skavoovy and those
And the
famous
Epitones.
epitones.
So Skavoovy and the Epitones. How does that Matt Leacock is Pandemic Legacy?
What kind of music did Skavoovy?
Ska movie and the Epitones.
But that's the name of the band.
Ska.
No, stop.
Ska.
No, you stop saying ska.
Ska.
What is happening? Ska. I love ska. Ska.
Keep doing that, Christina.
And ska.
Pandemic Legacy ska season 3.
Kevin's got it again. This guy's on fire.
Forbidden skies. Oh, I was thinking
Pandemic Legacy. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Hey, have we picked on Patrick enough? Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if one of Patrick's many jobs was to be a solely positive reviewer for a French board game publishing juggernaut? He'd be what? He'd be. We would call him.
If he was what? If he was he did what?
What if one of Patrick's many jobs? When I meet him, he's going to punch me in the face. What if one of Patrick's many jobs? Well, based on the episode that came out, I'm not sure if I want to be around him or Jeremy in a bar fight. What if one of Patrick's?
He's a fighter.
Jeremy's
a fighter. There's a lot of behind the scenes fighting right now.
What if one of Patrick's many jobs was to be a solely positive reviewer for a French board gaming publishing juggernaut? What would we call him?
French at
Happy.
Oh, and Steve says bonus points if you can sing the answer. If Rob sings the answer.
Oh no.
That's a hint. That's a hint.
No. Rob sings the answer. Rob doesn't sing.
That's a hint.
What
do y'all call Patrick when he's reviewing games?
Shakespearean. When he what?
When he's reviewing games.
Oh, Mr. Enthusiasm.
So, Monsieur Elegant, Metagone, Medico.
Mansour Elegant.
I like that one. Medico optimistic.
You know what? That's actually a pretty good one.
That's a better one. What is the actual answer?
The actual answer is Mr. Enthusiasm Mode.
As a mode day.
Mode. Mr. Enthusiasm Mode.
Steve,
That's great.
sorry, Steve. You got to give Kevin that one. I like Madigo. I can't even say it.
Madigo optimistic.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Kevin is like on par. I mean, he's nailing it.
One of the things you guys talk about on the show constantly is NASCAR, right?
All the time.
Our show? Yeah. It's a good start. Good start to this one. I'm
I
feeling good
couldn't
about
say it with a straight face. If there was a NASCAR game, though, that Rob loved,
Ooh.
he might describe it as being right up his
Hurt Alley, but a NASCAR game. So
It'd be
it's Hurt Alley, right? So
Yeah.
Alley, what is it? What is a race car game with Alley?
chat room. They're going to give it to you. Come on, chat room. They're struggling.
Hurt Alley. But it's a race car game. What's a NASCAR race car game?
Chat room, this is yours. Take it. Take
No,
it.
It's up my Hurt Alley.
It's like dribbling right in front of you.
cats.
Alley cats. There's no cats in
No,
racing.
what's that? Hurt Alley.
Oh wait, the Jeff Engelstein racing game. What was that called? Oh, that's probably not it.
I
I don't know. I got Hurt Alley.
Thunder Alley.
Thunder Hurt
Roads?
Alley.
Hurt Alley Roads.
Thunder Hurt Alley. Nice.
Yeah, I got it from Jesse. I saw the Thunder Alley, and I was like,
Yeah,
Thunder
I
Alley.
agree with you, Jesse. Jesse and Steve, Jesse and Rob should share that one. That was pretty. Oh, somebody actually. Oh, Chris Whitpan got it. No, Chris got it. Sometimes there's a delay and we don't see their answers. So
Thunder
Chris-
Hurt Alley.
yep, he's got it. He's got it. All right,
We're not
I just got a
very
few
well.
more if you got time.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're here all night.
Well,
All night Space Marines and alien races might be tough, but can they juke and whip to score points on wheels?
Oh, it's a derby game.
okay. Well, then you should answer this.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten this one, Steve. This was a little tough one. Yeah, it's a little tough. I thought maybe you guys would know this one better than me. But think Space Marines and alien races. What are we talking about?
So we're talking about 40K, right? So Warhammer, War 40K, or your favorite game, but no, there's no Space Marines in that game.
But
Okay.
Christina would know. But can they juke and whip to score points on wheels?
Jammers. Juke.
Jammers and 40K or Warhammer.
War
War Jammers.
I'm actually watching it like crawl across your forehead. You're going War 40K, Warhammer, Jammer.
War
Yeah,
jammer.
that was fun. Yeah, I'll give both. All right, just got a couple left. Here we go. Got a couple left. Oh, all right. Let me go with this one. If Rob couldn't quite decide how to rate this ice cream theme game, the other pegs would give him grief about his.
Split rating. What's the ice cream game? Split banana split ratings. I don't know if that's
So
a
if
game.
there was the end of the clue I don't think we got yet.
Oh,
What was it, BJ, at the end?
The other pegs would give him grief about his. If Rob couldn't quite decide how to rate this ice cream themed game, the other pigs would give him grief about.
his banana split ratings. I don't know.
Like ice cream parlor or
Oh, Chris is so close.
split.
Split.
I don't know any ice cream based games.
You should play more ice cream games
I
while you
guess.
watch old episodes of Bob Newhart.
Split rating Sunday.
That was what Chris said. Split rating Sunday, but that
I'm
doesn't.
just gonna keep throwing it up there.
Split rating.
I don't know. I don't know any ice cream games.
I don't either. I'm
All right.
stumped.
I'm on a diet.
All right, anybody out there in the chat room? I bet by this time the chat room has probably gotten it, or we'll give it to Chris Whitpan. It's Sunday split rating.
Oh, Sunday.
Sunday split.
A split.
It's one of those I choose you split games. Sunday split.
Split the
It's out of
banana.
my knowledge
Sunday.
base.
Sunday split.
All right, this is a one I'm gonna have to pull up a picture for. Let me see if I've got it handy. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me throw that up there. Here's a visual clue. How's that? Eric Summerer may be a vocal talent,
Yes.
but the pegs would love to hear this Dreamy Dukes real deal voice read all of the funny titled books in this fantasy themed library game from Renegade Games. So what game are we talking about? I'm really embarrassing my buddy here.
Alex Goldsmith. What's the
library game? We just played it.
Ex Libris?
Yeah. Alex Libris.
Wait a minute. No, say the whole thing. Alex Libris Goldsmith.
I like it. Yeah, I like it, man. That is it. Make sure you guys pick on Alex and that you said it. All right, here's the last one. Are we ready?
Yes.
Last one. Last chance. You guys have a bunch. Kevin's got a bunch, but you guys are pretty much in the lead, I think. It's close, though. Chris got a few. Let's see who can get this last one. If Patrick really loves a particular bag building game, we might call it what? What game?
Orleans and a door. But how do you put those two together?
A Dorleans.
Oh, can you say it again? Your eyes got so. A Dorleans.
I love that. Say it again, Christina Forrest. That was awesome.
Dorleans.
Oh man.
By the way, I would play a game called a Dorleans.
Adam's frustrated because you guys are guessing and getting it before he even finishes the clue in some cases. You guys really did well tonight. I don't know how you felt you did.
Peghead one. This is Peghead.
Yeah, this is stuff we know.
Oh my god. Well, mostly Bob Newhart.
I don't know him.
Yeah, we struck out with Bob Newhart, and we struck out with a Tribe Called Quest. That went over for Rob, but not so much for Christina. But you guys did really well. I mean, you guys got a lot of the clues, and that is the Jambalaya game. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
I was so nervous.
Steven, for putting that together. This is great.
The name father nailed it with some of those clues.
Yeah.
He does this every week with every guest, and he comes out with I've got more. I mean, he's got a list of them, and he's fantastic. The name father. He is one of a kind. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guests, Rob and Christina from Blue Peg, Pink Peg podcast. How can they reach you if they want to know more?
We have a Facebook page. Blue Peg, Pink Peg is our Facebook. We're on Twitter at Blue Peg, Pink Peg. If you want just Rob on Twitter, he is
Loud Blue Peg.
I don't know why that's his name. If you just want me on Twitter, it's BPPP Piranha Pig, because that's easy to say. And then our website is bluepegpinkpeg.com.
And I'm surprised she didn't have to put 2 or 3. No one else had that tag on Twitter already.
It's just mine.
God, that is awesome. Hey, make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us to get the word out about all of our upcoming guests and shows, including next week's show, Jeremiah Jambalaya Plays Board Games. If you haven't seen him on the show, and I'm sure you guys have seen him on social media. Jambalaya is fantastic. We run through about 632 games in about 30 minutes. He plays a lot of games. It is fantastic. And I can't wait to have Jambalaya back on the show. And this will be his first time ever playing the namesake game, Jambalaya game. That's going to be kind of weird.
Jambalaya plays Jambalaya.
Might be like the Timeless show. Can we actually do the Jambalaya game with Jambalaya on the show? I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out.
Break it.
Yep. I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo. And until next time, pegs, laissez le bon temps rouler. That was perfect.